Good morning, good afternoon, and good day, everyone, wherever you may be joining us. Welcome to another episode of Accelo's Best Practices webinar. Today, we'll be covering the integral part of Accelo, the G Suite integration. I'll be your host today. My name is Drew Hansen, and I'll be joined by Katie Priest, one of our product experts and sales engineers here at Accelo. Today, some of the things that I really want to remind you of as far as this webinar is concerned, down below we have a Q&A session. You can click on that and ask a question at any point along the process, and we'll actually be reviewing some of those questions and answering those throughout the webinar today. Anything that we don't get to, we'll follow up with you with some additional answers for you. One thing I'd like to start with and challenge everybody to think about is the general problem that every business is working to solve, right? Every business is ultimately managing resources, time, labor, cost to produce something for their clients. And one of the biggest challenges that comes with managing the human resources of your business is coordinating everyone, making sure that the communication isn't lost, making sure that the time is used efficiently. And one of the things, or one of the great things about the Accelo system is its ability to help you with that communication and that time coordination. So I'd like to take us on a little bit of a journey. So your business is just getting started and you're starting that communication line with one of your first clients. And for you, you're a small team, you're a team of one at this point, and you've got just your single client. And it makes it a very easy communication process, right? We can email those people, we can schedule events or schedule meetings, and we know all of the communication that's happening there because it's all internal. We know those different pieces of information. But as our business continues to grow, which is, our ultimate goal, we add on not only other colleagues, but we're going to add more clients. We might add more clients. We might add more contacts at the clients, at our other clients. And as that continues to go, everybody's now communicating with additional people. We're communicating with the accountant at my client. We're now communicating with one of their junior associates. On our side, we've got a handful of people that are all communicating different parts of projects or other relationships that might happen there. And as that happens and that continues to grow and build, the communication web of all of the different things that live between us and our clients continues to grow and grow until it really becomes this large web of lines that are crossing communication, and things can get lost there. And so the ultimate goal for us within our communication, in order to solve that general problem and challenge, is that we need somewhere where we can centralize that information, where everybody can be on the same page. Everybody within our company has the visibility to see different parts of the communication line and understand where the project is headed. When we do that in Accelo, we're able to really gather everything together and bring it into one central location. The first step with that, though, as we're sifting through this web of communication, is that we need to look at each individual's inbox. And when we look at our inboxes every day on a daily basis, you might come into your inbox and see a wide variety of things, right? One part of that is our client work. But in addition to our client work, we might have notifications, we might have ads that have come in, we might have a message from mom or one of our significant other, we might see some newsletters that have come in, or any other friends or family communication that we might have, in addition to all of our client work. And when we're at work or we're at the business and we want to provide that communication link, we want just that client work to be pulled out and presented to the rest of our colleagues so that everybody can be, again, on that same page. One of the largest issues that can happen here when our inboxes aren't aggregated into some sort of pool or general inbox is that somebody may have to be out of office. It might be unexpectedly, or it might be for a long term. Somebody gets sick, or somebody's out on vacation for a long time. And if a piece of the puzzle for our project to move forward is living within that individual's inbox, we may have to put the project on pause or on hold until we can get a hold of that information. And even if we're able to access that person's inbox, we then have to sift through all of the ads and the newsletters and the family communication and kind of break that trust for that individual by going into their inbox. So Accelo helps to take all of that client work and pull it out of your inbox and put it into one pool together, where we can see not only the client work that I've done, but also the client work that Sally's done or John's done as well. And so that allows us to take everybody that's in our business and grab all of their client communication and put it into one big pool, so that we all have access to different parts of that vital information, right? Now, if we just took all of our inboxes and put it in one big inbox, it'd be awfully difficult to sort through some of that information. So the next step here, once we've got all the information from everybody's individual inboxes, is then to sort that into some type of structure. And the structure that we sort into is on a client-by-client basis. So within your particular Accelo system, you've got all of the different pieces of client work from and client communication from each one of the employees, and then we sift that out by client A, client B, and client C. And then within that, we also are able to sift that into specific buckets. After we put it into our client buckets, we're able to put it into specific project buckets. We're able to put it, narrow it down even to communication on a specific task that you might have, a specific step of a project, or a particular part of your sales cycle, or any type of support information as well. So we're able to sift that out so that the people that need to access a specific part of information are able to do that. And what this allows us to do, again, is it reduces any of that potential communication. It adds transparency, and it allows us to see all of the different moving parts that are going going into a particular client's work. All right. Now, one of the biggest questions that often comes up with this G Suite integration is the idea of privacy, right? So you're going to pull all of this information from my inbox, and it's going to be client work. But how can I guarantee that that work is going to be client work? And how can I guarantee within the client work that only certain people are able to see certain communication? Well, we take privacy very seriously here at Accelo. And one of the big things that I want to talk about first is, how do I know that a particular email is client work and not, a message about Christmas plans with mom? Well, what we do is the Accelo system looks at that email first and says, is this person already a contact in my Accelo system? If that person's already a contact in the Accelo system, then great, we're going to put that into the bucket that they already are a part of. If they're not a client or a contact already in the system, what Accelo will do, or what we do, is we take a look at the domain name, and if that domain name matches one of the companies that's in your system, then we're going to add this contact to that company automatically. So this helps to make sure that we're only pulling information from your email and from your G Suite integration into Accelo that you actually want to pull in. Now, when you're first setting up your G Suite, you may be curious about pulling your contacts in. And what we allow you to do with that is that we have a wizard that allows you to pick and choose the people that you actually want to pull in to make sure that mom's email doesn't become a contact in our business Accelo system. In addition to pulling out these particular clients and contacts to make sure that we've separated those, we also take a look at different privacy rules that we may have in place. And these are things that you can set up in your Accelo system as well. So with a particular client, I can set up a relationship that is a confidential relationship between myself and a company, myself and a particular contact within that company. And when those confidential messages come over, what happens is we will show a confidential message has occurred, but we won't show the content of that. In addition to confidential, we also have a secret relationship that we can create. And that secret relationship is something that will not even show up in the stream. It will only show up in your own private stream. So you can create those privacy rules for your particular, for individual clients and companies. Now, I do want to share with you that we believe in these privacy rules. Not only is it a major priority for us, but this is something that we also use internally. We believe in the strength of our system so much that our HR system is a company within our own, within Accelo system. And we have a secret relationship between every single employee at Accelo and that HR company. And so those emails that we're getting individually from our HR company are coming in and nobody else can see them because we believe and we know the strength of our system and its ability to stay secret. So Accelo helps us to solve this communication conundrum that happens with every business. We bring it in, we help you aggregate it, we make sure that things are safe with our privacy, we make sure that clients that you want to be in there are in there, and that any communication that you don't want to be a public communication line is also protected as well. Now, what I want to do next is I'm going to move this over to Katie, and Katie's going to show you through the system and talk a little bit more in detail about how we're able to help you solve that big issue.
Awesome. Thanks, Drew.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'll go ahead and get my screen shared up here. Everybody should be able to see list companies in the top left corner. And really what I want to take, the next chunk of our time together is to talk about what that looks like to operate in Accelo. If I have my G Suite integration turned on, what does that look like to bring in all of my companies and contacts? What does it look like to have, that kind of transparency across the team for all of the conversations we're having with our clients? So a good place to start is at the backbone of Accelo. And at the backbone of Accelo is a CRM. So this is where at the list of companies or even, all of our contacts here, we're bringing in all of our relationships that we're in business with. So all of the organizations that we're doing work with, whether those are vendors, partners, folks that, we're in early conversations with, and even ongoing clients where we already have active work going on with them. If we have all of those relationships in the system, then what naturally happens in Accelo is all of the work that we're doing, whether there's a sales opportunity and we've won the deal and we're ready to deliver on a project, all of that work will roll up to the company we're doing the work for. So that's kind of the foundation piece there is I need a system that's going to keep all of that naturally organized for me. And because I have that as a starting point, then all of the communication with that client and with those vendors is going to come into the system as well through my G Suite integration. So we'll use an example client in our demo environment today, Delta Airlines. Maybe we're doing some design development production work for them, and we're going to send out a proposal for them. So here at the company overview page, really what we're doing here is getting a high-level pulse check on our relationship with this client. So how active are we with this client? How much work do we have going on? Over on the right-hand side, we're going to see a touches count. And touches in Accelo is any of the activities, any of the communication between our customer and us. So activities in Accelo are things like internal notes, any of those emails to and from the client, any meetings that we've booked, even logging calls. It's going to feed into this type of overview of, how active are we with our client? How is our relationship with this customer? And those activities feed into the stream in Accelo. Now, the stream exists all throughout Accelo, and it is a chronological capture of all of those activities, all of those communications related to this client. So when I say the stream exists all throughout Accelo, I mean that, once we start working on that sales opportunity and we're emailing back and forth with the client or having meetings with them, trying to understand the scope of work, maybe do some negotiation, all of that communication for that sale gets captured in the stream. Likewise, when we win that opportunity and we're starting to deliver on the project work and we're sending out sign-offs to the client, we're getting their feedback, we're collaborating internally, all of that communication around that project will roll into the stream for that specific piece of work. All of that feeds into the overall company stream. So as a business owner, as an account manager of Delta Airlines, I can pop into the stream here and I can see all of the communication, all of the progress that we've made for our client, Delta Airlines. So let's go ahead and pop into an example sales opportunity. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that stream looks like at the sales level. What does it look like to do some of these activities as well? Great. So here we are at the sale level. For our client Delta Airlines, we're going to put together this opportunity for them, and we're going to put together a quote for them. It looks like I have a little task for myself to send the quote out. That's something that I have due today. And that's an important thing to just keep in your back pocket once we start talking about how that syncs over to our calendar so that I know, I have a task for today. I need to make sure to get that quote out. We also have a meeting coming up, a scheduled activity that we did. And that's something that I'm going to be able to see on my calendar as well. So as we pop down into the stream for the sales opportunity, I'm able to start seeing all of the pieces of communication that have happened between me and my client, right? It's that two-way sync between Gmail and Accelo. So any emails that I've sent out of Accelo get captured, and any emails that I've sent or received, straight out of my Gmail get pulled into the stream here. I know Drew mentioned, confidential and secret relationships. Here's an example of that where, maybe I'm an accountant and I do bookkeeping work for Drew. He's my dentist, right? But I also do some accounting work for him. Well, he's a client of mine, and I want to make sure that all of our communication gets captured so that my team knows what's going on and I see what I have to deliver to Drew. But I also had to schedule my dentist appointment with him. So I went ahead and sent him that as a confidential little email. Of course, I can see it here because I'm logged in as myself, but no one else on my team would be able to see that when it's confidential. They'd just be able to see that a piece of conversation happened here. Now, to get items into the stream, we talked about activities. So let's go ahead and create an activity. Like I mentioned, notes are internal. So any sort of internal collaboration, if I want to get my team together, give them an update on what's going on with this sale, I'm going to send them out the proposal. We should have a decision by the end of the week. I can do that here as a note. And the value of doing that here in Accelo is you can see I have this timer automatically ticking away. And that lets me know how much time am I really spending on this type of work. Likewise, when I put an email together for my client or multiple different contacts over at Delta Airlines, I have that timer ticking away so I can finally say, this is how much time I'm spending on my emails. I think that's a really hard question for businesses to answer is like, I know we're doing all of this administrative work. Should we be billing for it? Especially folks that just have high volume to get through a bunch of emails. Now I know how much time that's taking me. Same thing with booking a meeting, logging a call. And I can also do things like activity templates here in Accelo. So using merge fields, I can pull in a common template of something that I would send out to my clients. making it personable. This helps save me some time. So a lot of value in kind of putting my emails together here in Accelo. We can also do things, with rich text and put in different inline images in here. So really great one-stop shop to get through all of my emails, get all of my responses in, update my team internally through our activities. Cool. And as I scroll down, I'm able to see all of the different pieces of communication that happen. So if one of my colleagues is sick one day and I need to pop in and see where they left off, now I'm able to do that. Drew mentioned as well that, we use Accelo internally. We have 3 different offices, one here in Denver, one in San Francisco, and one in Australia. We're all working with our clients. We're all collaborating together to give our customers, the best service that we can. So we're using the stream every single day across those different companies to come in and see, what's the last touch with this client on this sale opportunity? What's the last piece of work that we need to get done? What's our relationship looking like with this customer? It's just a huge collaboration tool to be able to come into the stream and see what's going on. And as we scroll down, we can start to see things like open rates and read rates and delivered rates. So I can see that Anthony opened this email. I'm sure that he got it. I'm assuming that he'll get back to me. This one for Drew, well, he hasn't opened it yet, but I know that it's been delivered. Again, I'm getting that kind of insight because of this email integration with Accelo. Cool. And just another reminder, I did want to pop back just really quickly to the privacy side of things. I know that's an important piece for a lot of folks is how do I make sure that I don't have conversations coming into the stream that I want to be, considered confidential or even completely private and secret. If I'm the CEO of a business and I'm working with the CEO, one of my clients, I don't necessarily want everybody on my team to have access to the content of those messages. So what I can do here is create some private relationships, like Drew was mentioning. Things like, well, anytime that I'm working with, we'll say Jimmy over at Delta, and myself, what do I want to happen to that relationship? Do I want it to be confidential, meaning that it will be indicated in the stream that that conversation happened, but the content of it will only be available to me? Or do I want to make it secret, meaning that it will not appear in the stream? Any of the conversations that Jimmy and I have will remain completely secret and out of the stream. I can also do that on a email by email basis. So popping back over to our activities, if I want to send an email, I have this privacy option here as well for this email. Do I want it to default to my default settings? Do I want everybody to be able to see this piece? Is it confidential? Or is it completely secret and shouldn't show up in the stream? So a lot of options there just to make sure that you're bringing in what is most relevant to your team, what is most relevant for that piece of work, and for that team collaboration. Cool. So popping over, we did our sales opportunity. We can see all of our communication in the stream as we're putting together, different quotes for our client. I have different tasks for myself with different due dates, different meetings to talk about this final proposal. Let's pretend I've won the deal and we're ready to deliver on some project work. Cool. So now we're at the project level for our client, Delta Airlines. I can see all of the different tasks and milestones, and I can start to assign those out to the team. Before we go into scheduling, let's just check the stream here against the project. So any of these pieces of communication are specific to this project. I did a little wireframes approval check-in with Drew. I can see that it's been delivered. He hasn't opened it yet. I can see that one of my colleagues, Anthony, has opened it. I can even reply directly here in the stream back to that team, send any updates, check for, hey guys, did you see my email? Can I get a response? Again, that timer's automatically going to tick away. I can choose whether or not that time is billable against this project or this piece of work. And of course, I still have some very specific privacy functionality available to me if I need to control who sees this email back. Cool. So let's talk about scheduling, right? Because I think that feeds into, the next most powerful piece of this integration is any of the tasks that we have going on, any of the meetings, any of the work that we need to schedule out to the team, we can make sure that it syncs to our Google Calendars, right? We think Google Calendars is a great tool. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. So let's just make sure that any of the work that we're scheduled to do syncs back out to our calendar so we can block off time and make sure we have the bandwidth to get it done. So you can see for these different milestones and tasks, we've assigned them out to the team. We do that through our team scheduling tool. And as I'm scheduling out this work, I have a couple options here. On the left-hand side, I have all of the different tasks and milestones from that project. On the right-hand side here, I have my entire team. I can start to drill down to folks with a certain skill set or that belong to a certain group. And it's very easy for me to simply drag and drop these tasks to Katie's schedule. Now in my calendar, I already have 2 hours that I'm working on this task, but I still have some time left that I need to get done for it. So this is where I can actually schedule time for myself or for my teammates and say, hey, Katie, I actually want you to get this done at a specific day and a specific time. So I can see I'm already working on it from 1 to 3. I'm already working on it from 8 to 8:30. So let's just go ahead from, 9 to 11. We'll go ahead and get that booked on my calendar as well. Great. Now, as I save that, in real time, that's syncing back over to my Google Calendar. So I'll be able to see, from 9 to 11, I'm supposed to be working on that bugs task. Cool. So before we hop out of Accelo, let's just touch on our inbox in Accelo, right? So we have our email integration set up. I can send emails out to my clients straight here from Accelo, any notes to my team, or I can operate out of my Gmail. That's fine too. But I'm syncing in my inbox here into Accelo. So here we are in my inbox. I can apply a couple of filters to sort my messages. I can even search by the title or subject line of those messages. And on the right-hand side, I'm looking at this email thread where one of my colleagues, Anna, sent an email out to the client and I was copied in on that. Again, I can hover over and I can see, Carl actually opened up this quote PDF. So we know that he's reviewed the contract. From here, I have some options to, reply all to everybody on the thread or even just reply back to Anna. Of course, that timer is automatically ticking away. I can control my privacy rules here. And if I don't need to take any action on this email, maybe Anna was just looping me in so I could see what was going on. Very easy for me to just action this item. And actioning something in Accelo is pretty much like archiving it or saying, hey, this work is done. It'll go ahead and leave my inbox here in Accelo. And depending on my preferences for my email integration, I can say anytime I action something in Accelo, what do I want it to do to that same email thread over in my Gmail? Do I want it to mark it as read? Do I want it to mark it as read and also archive it? Or do I want to leave it there because I prefer to operate out of my Gmail? The idea there is you have different configurations and each user can choose how they want to operate in the system using that integration. Cool. Now, we've kind of explored everything inside of Accelo, right? We see that the backbone of Accelo is our CRM. We're bringing in all of our companies and contacts. That means that as my business grows, I don't necessarily have to have, client folders in my Gmail anymore where I'm dragging and dropping those conversations trying to keep it organized. Accelo's naturally going to do that for me. As I go through my sales and projects, I have all of that communication in the stream, whether it's internal collaboration or any emails to and from our clients, all of that's pulling and syncing between the two systems. So let's take a look of what it looks like outside of Accelo. What does my inbox look like right now in Gmail? What does my calendar look like right now in Gmail? I'm going to pop us back to this sale so that we can refer back to this task and this meeting. We'll take a look at my inbox here. Great, here's my Gmail inbox. pretty crazy. I have a lot of messages in here because I operate mostly out of Accelo in my demo environment. Let's go ahead and open up one of these emails. In this example, I was copied. I sent a note out to the team and I said, quick update, I had a call with the client. It went great. I'm going to send him the quote by the end of day, just letting everybody know what's going on. As I click on this email, I have my Accelo add-on here. Very easy to just get that from the add-ons shop. And on the right-hand side, it's already recognizing, you know, what client is this email for? I recognize it's for Delta Airlines. Who is my customer for this, this company? What is this related to? It sees that it's related to the sales opportunity and the quote that I was putting together. I can do things like, great, I want to open this in Accelo, take me straight to that sale, take me straight to this piece of conversation. I can even add a task for myself, like, in this email I said that I was going to send out the quote by end of day. I should just make a task for myself really quickly. And it's going to log it back in Accelo. And I can even relocate this. So if I have a thread going on with my customer and we're talking about negotiations, yada, 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 maybe my customer a couple days later starts a brand new email thread. Well, where does that go? It's going to naturally flow to the company level, and then it's very easy for me to relocate it back to the sale that we're negotiating or back to the project that we're working on. That way, all of the communication for that work stays organized. Cool. So let's check out my calendar. Remember that any external events that I'm putting on my calendar, like my dentist appointment, when I'm riding the train, these are items that I just put straight here on my calendar, and we're going to be able to see those back in Accelo. I was at an offsite conference. I have that meeting that we saw. If we think back to our sales opportunity, that final proposal review and QA, and the send the quote task, all of these things are popping up on my Google Calendar. So I know every day what I need to get done. I have it booked out. Here's that final proposal QA and the bugs task that I assigned myself from 9 to 11. So it's very easy for me to make sure that I have the time to get done the work that I need for my clients. I can even pop into my tasks icon here, and I can sort by my Accelo tasks. I can see all of the different tasks I have going on. Oh my schematics one is 30 weeks old. I'm definitely gonna have to prioritize that. And I can click into these quotes and action them, things like that. If we pop back to our team scheduling as an example, I mentioned I had those external events on my calendar, right? I said that I was gonna be offsite at a conference. Well, as I click into this work, I can see, this pink color means external event. I can see when I'm doing scheduling, Katie's not going to be available during that time. She's at an offsite conference. I'm going to make sure that I don't schedule her any work for when she's offsite or on the train. So really it's giving, project managers and team scheduling managers true insight to full capacity for the team. Because as a creative, I'm able to just manage my calendar. I can put all of my appointments on there, and it's going to sync back into Accelo so that my managers know when to schedule me for work. And then in the other direction, anytime I do get scheduled for work, it's going to pop up on my calendar. So I know exactly when I'm supposed to be working on something. I know when I have a task due on the 2nd. And I'm able to action these things and have it feed back into Accelo. Awesome. So I think that's everything that we really wanted to show you guys today on really how our users use that G Suite integration and all of the different ways that it syncs and that the two systems talk to each other. Just as a quick refresher, that CRM at the backbone of Accelo, bringing in all of those companies and contacts, everybody that we're in a relationship with. Then down below in the stream, we're able to see all of the communication, whether it's internal or client-facing, so our teams really know what's going on with this client. We can create different privacy rules for confidential conversations or even completely private secret conversations. The stream exists all throughout Accelo, so that will roll up to all of the work that we're doing. And then we can manage our inbox right here out of Accelo and have it sync over to our Gmail inbox. Any of the events and tasks, meetings, things that we're doing with our client are going to sync between the two systems. So as I put these meetings and schedule meetings here in Accelo, those are syncing back over to my Google Calendar. And then I have that handy dandy Google add-on, so I can see straight from my email, who is this email for, what client is it for, what piece of work is it for, and I can even manage my tasks out of Accelo and create, or out of my Gmail and create different tasks for myself. So at a high level, that's the value of that integration. That's how our clients are using it today.
Thank you so much, Katie, for walking us through all of that. I would like to talk a little bit about how everyone here can get this set up and get it really optimized for your business and the way that you like to function. So one of the things that we have in our system, and we're going to follow up with everybody who is on today's webinar with some additional information. We've got a great tutorial that's going to go through the configuration settings for your G Suite within the Accelo system. And we'll help talk you through recommended settings, where people usually choose to pick their settings, and make sure that we get you all of that great information. Now, the next thing that we want to do is that we do want to take some of the questions that were asked during today's webinar, and we're going to have Katie answer some of those and help you out a little bit. So, Katie, one of the first questions that we had is working with privacy. So I know that we talked quite a bit about privacy, and one of the things that this particular user asks is that they're worried about the transparency, about having total email transparency within the system, and they're still a little worried about some of those personal emails coming through. Do you have any advice on how they can avoid this from becoming an issue?
Yeah. So for folks that are, really want that full transparency, they know that teams that communicate and that collaborate are really giving those customers a better experience, but they don't want it to tip over the edge, right? We don't want to necessarily bring in those dentist appointment emails and, emails out to our mom saying Happy Mother's Day. So as long as you don't have those personal email addresses linked to a contact within Accelo, those emails will never be brought into the stream or into the system at all. So Accelo is a place to really manage and organize and deliver on the work that we do for our clients. That's what the stream gives your team. It gives you insight into real-time updates on the conversations and deliverables for our clients. It's a place to manage client work. So we're very, very careful not to bring in things that are not related to your clients, right? That's not stuff that you're billing out for. It's not things that you necessarily want to track your team's time on. So best practice there is, cool, you can go ahead and keep emailing your mom over in Gmail. That's fine. Just don't ever bring her in as a company or contact in Accelo, and you don't have to worry about those conversations syncing between the two systems. So if there's any more, concerns or specifics about that, that's something we'd be happy to get on a one-on-one session with you, make sure that you have your settings set up correctly. That's something that we'd be able to work with folks on to make sure that they have it completely set up in the right way so that those conversations don't make their way into the stream.
Yeah, thank you so much, Katie. The next question talks about their transition into using Accelo more, and really what they lay out is that they've previously interacted exclusively with their clients within Gmail, and they want to know why they would want to move to Accelo for this. Gmail has all their contacts, their companies, and that's where their client and internal meetings live. So what's the benefit of moving over to Accelo?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's one that I get a lot. And for that, I say, that's the beauty of it being a two-way integration. So if you really like the way you operate, you're keen on, you know, answering all of your emails over in Gmail, that's cool. You can keep doing that, and Accelo will naturally capture those emails or those, you know, internal conversations over in Accelo. But I will say, you know, to get the most value out of the system, and best practice that we recommend for all of our clients and how our clients are using Accelo today, is really send your internal notes and client emails from Accelo, and that's going to enable you to, well, it's going to enable the system, empower you to have all of that information automatically captured. So like, how long are those pieces of conversations taking us? How is that impacting our work budgets? How is that impacting our deliverables? If you operate in Accelo, you're going to have those timers automatically starting for you. It automatically goes against the work that you're doing. It's really taking away a lot of that administrative burden of like, okay, well, I sent out this email. Did they respond? Where does it belong? Do I drag and drop it over into this folder? You don't have to worry about doing all of that anymore. We'll just naturally keep track of that stuff for you. And that's really going to allow you to answer that big question of what happened in the business today? What did we accomplish? I can literally just pop in there and answer that question because I know everything that's going on with that one customer or that one piece of work.
We had kind of a follow-up question to that, Katie.
Sure.
So somebody wants to know, okay, so all of my things are getting tracked from all of my events, my meetings, my emails are getting tracked in Accelo. But at the end of the week, my employer asks me to fill out my timesheet. How am I able to fill out my timesheet with those meetings and emails?
Yeah, I can actually just get shared up here. It's a really good question, and I meant to touch on timesheet, so I'm glad we came back to it. So because I'm assigned all of these different tasks, and Accelo can see, you know, when I'm emailing, it can see my external events because I have my integration set up with G Suite. When I pop to my timesheet, here I'm at my weekly timesheet view in my demo environment. I can see all of those different pieces of work that I've been assigned, and Accelo sees where I've logged my time, or in some cases, maybe I had a timer automatically starting for this. What it's also doing is making suggestions. So it knows that I had this task for send the quote, and it sees that I spent some time on it. Very easy for me to come and just click that suggested time. I can add a few little notes of what I got done if we want to prompt our team to put in some details, whether or not this time was billable. And as I save that log, that's updating real time back to my timesheet here, right? So I have these different suggestions that are coming through because I have this integration set up. It's seeing all of the tasks that I'm assigned. It's seeing, you know, where I've had timers automatically running, and it's putting that to my timesheet, or at least suggesting it for me. That means, thank goodness, that I don't have to remember all of the millions of little things that I did every single day or all week long. Accelo is helping me out. It's keeping tabs, and it's going to come in and make some suggestions for me. Likewise, it sees these external appointments, right? So that offsite conference that I was on, do I need to log work for that? Is that something that I want to, you know, was it client related or work related? And it will be able to see those external appointments as well.
That's great. Thank you so much, Katie. Let me grab the share from you again. So another question here. They heard you talk about some one-on-one meetings. They didn't integrate Gmail initially, and they're interested in what would it look like to get that up and running. Are there some one-on-one meetings where they can have some help with the integration, configuring settings, taking advantage of any advanced, you know, features that might be available?
Yay! I love that. Yes, absolutely. So we can totally help. You know, Accelo, I tell this to all of our clients because, you know, making a change to something like Accelo can be a bit different from operating in spreadsheets or running your entire business out of email. And Accelo is really a system that's meant to grow with you as your business grows. So as you take on more clients, you grow your team, you may find that you want to take advantage of, you know, different pieces of functionality within Accelo. That's totally fine, and that's exactly why we offer our expert services. So yeah, we'd be happy to hook you up with one of our consultants. We can map out a game plan and share some best practices on how, you know, clients are finding value in the integration today, and make sure that we get all of those settings set up the way that you want them to. That way you're getting just full value out of the system. So yeah, if anyone else is interested in that, just drop a comment to us in the Q&A there, and we'll be sure to follow up after this session and get something on the books so we can get you introduced to a consultant and talk about those expert services.
That's great. The final question that we have, and the final one that we have time for today, is dealing with some of the meetings within, you know, what do most of our clients, or what do most people use the system for when setting up their meetings, right? Do they still use Gmail to create those meetings? Do they use Accelo exclusively? Do they balance somewhere in between? What's your best practice advice for that?
Sure. You know, honestly, it's a bit of a split, and I think it comes with some of this education of understanding, you know, best practices and how to operate out of Accelo. So that's why we host these sessions and offer things like our expert services, so that we can, you know, get you in the workflow that works best for you. I'd say some folks are really, really keen on using their Google Calendar, and that's totally okay, right? Because like I said, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We know that Google Calendar is really solid, and that's exactly why we integrate with it. It's a really great, beautiful partnership there, where we're going to sync those meetings between the two systems, right? So best practice truly is to schedule that meeting from the object in Accelo. So whether that's a meeting, you know, on a sale because we're going to negotiate the contract, or maybe it's a design review or an install plan for the project. Really, that means that everyone involved knows that the meeting's happening, and it's easy to capture how long everyone spent in that meeting. So if I do that in Accelo, I know all of the internal resources that we had. It's easy for my team to log time, because here at my timesheet, they're going to be able to see, I was in that meeting. I can log my hour. So it just makes all of that stuff easier, especially folks that tend to send, you know, I'm an account manager, I'm a CSM, and I'm responsible for sending out my follow-up emails. Here's everything we covered in today's meeting. Here's all of the takeaways and deliverables that we still owe you. If I have all of that on my meeting in Accelo against that project or against that sale, it's really easy for me to pull out that information. We call it a meeting report. So I already have my follow-up email right there ready to go. I don't have to then carve out time later to do it. It's very easy to do it in that moment and get it done quickly. So again, that time savings, kind of streamlining, being more efficient, that's really where we're trying to help with this integration. There's just a lot of opportunity for time savings in there.
Well, that is terrific. And Katie, I want to thank you so much for providing your expertise today. For anybody whose questions didn't get answered, we will be following up with a follow-up email, not only with the tutorial on some of the configuration settings within Accelo, but we'll also be following up with any of those questions that didn't get answered. And so we'll compile those and give you some more insight into some of those questions that were asked today that we just didn't have time to get to. So we do appreciate everybody taking the time to ask questions in the forum. And ultimately, we'd just like to say thank you again for taking the time to understand the G Suite, understanding how powerful it is and how it really can benefit your business in solving that big challenge, that challenge of communication, that challenge of time and creating efficiency within your business so that you really can get back to serving those clients and providing them with the best work possible. So once again, thank you, Katie. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time today to join us. And we look forward to continuing to work with you all. Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.